evening. Welcome to the first Mayor and City Council work session of 2024. I will call the meeting to order at 6 p.m.
Recording in progress.
Our first agenda item is a fleet acquisition of two 2024 Ford Transit passenger vans. Timothy Miller of the Department of Public Works, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor Sidnor, Council President James Kole, and Laurel City Council members. The Department of Public Works is requesting approval for the purchase of two 2024 Ford Transit passenger vans to be assigned to the Department of Parks and Recreation to replace vehicles that have exceeded their lifespan for programs use that will now be used for building maintenance staff. The department solicited several quotes from Sourcewell as well as vendors on state and county contracts. The accepted quote is in the amount of $124,971.12 from Apple Ford of Columbia, Maryland, which is on the Baltimore County contract 0004504. Based on this fleet schedule, the following vehicles will be replaced. Vehicle 759, which is a 2013 passenger van, and vehicle number 758, which is a 2013 passenger van. The funding is provided in the adopted fiscal year 24 CIP for fleet replacement. It's recommended that the purchase of these vehicles be approved for a total cost of $124,971.12 from Apple Ford of Columbia, Maryland.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director. Are there any questions from the council? Councilwoman Clark, go ahead.
Thank you. I just have one question, and I'm sure that you've already thought of this, but I wanted to double check and see if we've already checked with local dealerships in Laurel to see if they have the same fleet vehicles so we can support local businesses.
They are all invited to participate in the solicitation, and we have purchased several from the local vendors in the city. Yes, over the years. Yes.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments from our council? Hearing no further questions, this item will be placed on the agenda for the next council meeting on Monday, January 8th at 6 p.m. Our next agenda item is bid recommendation for Van Dusen Road Improvement Corridor Survey, Phase 1 Engineering Services. Again, Tim Milner, Deputy Director of Department of Public Works, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. The Department of Public Works is requesting approval for engineering survey services for the Van Dusen Road Improvement Project. Van Dusen Road is one of the city's major thoroughfares that runs north and south from Contera Road to Old Sandy Spring and serves the West Side community, the University of Maryland Medical Center, and several other residential and commercial communities along its route. It's currently scheduled for resurfacing, stormwater drainage assessments, and pedestrian upgrades to meet the latest ADA standards. This work will support the design and construction of improvements along this corridor that were recommended in the concept study recently prepared by Century Engineering. The recommended Van Dusen Road improvements will be contained within existing city-state right-of-ways. However, this survey effort will also include establishing a right-of-way work map for areas where traffic guardrails and sidewalks may come very close to the edge of the right-of-way. The scope of work included by Century Engineering will provide the manpower, technology, and appropriate software to perform a topographic survey for the entire 1.6-mile Van Dusen Road study corridor. The results will be compiled and submitted to the city based on the following two segments: Conti Road to Cherry Lane, which will be segment 1 or phase 1. The survey along this segment will be a priority, and the results will be submitted to complete the final design and bidding for this segment of the corridor by April 2024. Based on the preliminary recommendations in the concept study, the design for this segment should not require Prince George's County review for storm drains, sediment control, or technical stormwater management. Cherry Lane to Old Sandy Spring, segment number 2 or phase 2, the survey along this segment will facilitate the associated final design and bidding. However, the design is anticipated to include input from Prince George's County in those following things such as storm drain, sediment control, or technical stormwater management. The survey results will be compiled and submitted only after all survey and right-of-way work for segment 1 is completed. This phase of the work will also include task management efforts, will involve ongoing project management, and a minimum of 2 coordination status update meetings. Quality assurance, quality control reviews of the survey, and right-of-way work products. Century Engineering is one of the 3 A&E firms on retainer with the city. Their proposed fee for this phase of the project is $117,690.35. Funding is approved through the adopted fiscal year 2024 CIP. It's also associated as an ARPA project for Van Dusen Road improvements. It's recommended that the proposed amount of $117,690.35 for survey and topographic services as submitted by Century Engineering be approved for this 1.6 miles.
Thank you very much, Deputy. Any questions or comments from the council?
Excuse me, I
Mr.
do
Lewis?
have one question.
Go ahead.
The,
The floor is yours.
The 1.6 miles, you mentioned basically from Conti to Old Sandy Spring. But what about north from Conti to Conterra?
Conti to Cantera is presently owned by Prince George's County. Okay, they own that segment as well as I believe they own Van Dusen, a portion of Van Dusen that goes up in front of Overlook.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that is Conti. Yes.
Yes, that's Conti.
Yes. Yep, that is Conti. So the county actually owns that portion. So we're going to go to the light right there by the church and at the end of the property where the new University of Maryland Medical Center is being developed, that light right there. And then we're going to work all the way back along Olive Branch, all the way up to Cherry Lane is going to be the first phase. Second phase is going to be from Cherry Lane to Old Sandy Spring.
Sandy Spring.
Yes.
But isn't it true that that we've been cutting the grass from Conti to Conterra all summer long?
I can't answer that question. I mean, that might be more of a question from Parks and Recs, but I did see the county out there picking up trash along Conterra today, down there in the dip before you get to Olive Branch and all that. And in front of the medical center, the county was out there picking up trash and things of that nature. So they do maintain that.
Okay, because I mean, that's my neck of the woods, and all summer long I've been seeing, the Park and Recreation cutting from Conti to Conterra.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be pretty much a waste of money for us if that's PG County's property.
Yeah.
Director
Mr.
Bailey?
President, if I may.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So that is true. The Parks and Recreation staff have been cutting the island between Conti and Conterra per the request of the previous administration. It is county property. If we do not, we were asked to cut it because the county was not maintaining it. And if we don't maintain it, then the grass grows high, we get complaints, and it's a sight and vision problem for traffic. So the Parks and Recreation staff was advised to cut it.
Thank you very much, Director. Are there any other questions from the
President,
council pertaining to
may I add
just
something,
this
Mr.
bid
President?
recommendation?
Mr.
Yes,
President,
Mr.
I have something. I think we can continue that practice if the grass need to be cut and the county doesn't cut it fast enough, and we're gonna continue to cut it as well to maintain site distance as well. But we'll inform the county that it is their property to cut the grass, but we still want to maintain that, keep our citizens safe as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Any other questions from council for just the bid recommendation? Deputy Director Miller, I do have a question. On the bid recommendation, there are 3 A&E firms by the city, but we only have pricing from one. Were the others solicited for pricing on this bid?
They were not, but what we did was, with my experience, it's at a reasonable price. What we do is we take that contract and the contracts, and as you'll see later on, one of the firms was given Laurel Avenue and several other streets. Another firm was given some smaller streets and the work on Van Dusen Dam. So we sort of break it up that way. And again, I have some pricing from, knowledge, since that's what I used to do for 42 years. And what we do is we look at things per foot, linear foot of survey. And you can just come up with numbers, take 1.6, times 5,280 and, divide it up that way. And you get some reasonable pricing that way. That's how I compare the pricing.
Thank you very much for your answer.
You're welcome.
Other questions from the council? Hearing none, this bid recommendation will be placed on the agenda for the next mayor and city council meeting on Monday, January 8th at 6 p.m. Our next agenda item, number 4, is bid recommendation for the replacement of the stage roof at the Harrison-Burton Memorial Stage at Granville Gude Park. Director of Parks and Recreation, Bill Bailey, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mayor Sidnor, City Council members. The Department of Parks and Recreation is requesting approval to replace the roof at the Harrison-Burton Memorial Stage located at Granville Gude Park. The Harrison-Burton Memorial Stage was constructed in 1992 and is a major centerpiece of the Department of Parks and Recreation's outdoor concerts, movies, and special events, and serves as the city 4th of July's main stage. Upon inspection by city staff, the stage was found to have several leaks and deteriorating wood decking through the structure. The proposed work will include removing the existing shingles, flashing, and all wood tongue and groove decking. The replacement roof will include all new tongue and groove decking, fascia boards, and new 24-gauge galvanized steel roofing. A 5-year warranty on materials installation is provided by the contractor, and a 40-year manufacturer warranty on the steel roof for any manufacturer defects. The Department of Parks and Recreation was able to secure 3 bids, which are as follows. Progressive Roofing out of Clinton, Maryland for $47,500. Benchmark Roofing out of Annapolis, Maryland for $36,900. And Paramount Roofing and Construction out of Pasadena, Maryland for $36,750. Funding for this expenditure is provided for in the adopted FY 2024 CIP under Major Facility Maintenance. And it is recommended that the Mayor and City Council award the purchase and replacement of the roof for the Harrison-Burton Memorial Stage at Granville Gude Park to Paramount Roofing Construction of Pasadena, Maryland for the cost of $36,750, and provide for a contingency of 10% for an additional $3,675 for an overall total proposal of $40,425. I am available for any additional questions.
Thank you, Director. I'll open the floor to the mayor and council. Any questions? Comments?
Yes, sir, Director. Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Go ahead, Councilman Mills.
Okay. So, I did go and, excuse me, I did see that how that roof was, designed and the wood, how the water just totally was destroying it.
Yeah.
And so, but there's like a formulation. The formulation of that wood structure on top, does that have anything to do with like sound, or is it just for looks?
No, it's for looks. And honestly, when we had this bid out, each of the contractors, we're replacing it. Right now, it's a shingled roof, and we're going to be replacing it with a 24 gauge metal roof, based on that design of the curvature of the roof. Many of the contractors said that had a lot to do with the deterioration of the wood because it just sits in those grooves. So they recommended, all three of them actually recommended replacing the shingle roof with the metal roofing, which that's what we're going to go back with. But to answer your question, it's more of aesthetic than it is for acoustical.
Okay. And while you're working on the roof, replacing the roof, did you notice that there is a major crack in the middle of the concrete on the floor and deck?
Yeah, we believe we can take care of that in-house.
Okay.
Likewise, the railings and all, we're going to try to do that in-house as well. We think we can do that, take care of that. So, we didn't include that in this price.
Okay. I'm pretty sure y'all can. I see y'all do some great things.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you. Councilwoman Clark, you had a question?
Yes, thank you. Director Bailey, I just wanted to know, for this replacement and the upgrade, have we considered a sustainable or recycled option that could replace the roof and the shingles, that'll be a viable one and long lasting?
Honestly, I'm not sure there is one. The metal roof itself will give us a longer lifespan than a traditional shingle or wood roof would. Again, that's another advantage of going metal. So that gives us a longer lifespan on this material. So that in itself is sustainable there. But we didn't have any other, nobody really had any proposals, I guess, for that kind of material you're asking for. But going metal does give us a longer lifespan on the roof. So, this one lasted us a pretty long time. So just think about going metal. That should take us a longer time.
Yeah, I just wondered if we considered any of those options. I know sometimes when we're looking to have green certifications, it helps a lot if we have these recycled materials. So I just wanted to keep that in mind if possible.
Yeah, I think going with the metal, I'm not aware of any options out there as far as sustainability with the metal material. But I think that was the offer that everybody suggested and highly recommended. That's why we went with that option.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Any further questions? With no more questions or comments from the council, this item will be placed on the agenda for the January 8th council meeting. Our fourth agenda item is resolution number 1-2024, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland, to pay tribute to the Honorable Craig A. Moe by renaming the City of Laurel Multi-Service Center the Craig A. Moe Laurel Multi-Service Center. Mayor Sidnor, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. Whereas the Laurel City Council adopted resolution number 721 on July 26, 2021. The adoption of this resolution was created by the City of Laurel naming policy for park recreation facilities and city-owned buildings, streets, and alleyways, and other assets. The policy required a certain criteria under number 4, policy letter F be followed, which will be completed. And also, the administration follow the policy under number 6, naming the criteria of park, city-owned buildings, and recreation facilities. The city clerk should be sending you guys the application fees of the people who submitted the application, but you can see that all the criteria was met. Also, whereas after carefully review and meeting the above policy requirement, it is recommended to the Laurel City Council that former mayor of the Honorable Craig A. Moe be honored with renaming of the Laurel Multi-Service Center to be the Craig A. Mo Laurel Multi-Service Center. And whereas the policy states that the Laurel City Council shall have the final authority to name and codename and rename any city amenities, buildings, parks, streets, alleys, and recreation areas and facilities. The Honorable Craig A. Mo served the city of Laurel as elected official for over 33 years, first as a councilman from 1988 to 2002, then as a city of Laurel mayor from 2002 to 2023. And I'm not gonna read this other spot there. Craig Mo was born here in Prince George County, city of Laurel. But I also want to highlight some things that Mayor Craig Mo done that make him this building renamed after him, according to the applicants who submitted the application for him. We know that the Honorable Craig Mo was a past president and past fire chief of the Laurel Volunteer Fire Department. He was the youngest member ever elected to the office of president in 1983. In 1986, he was elected president of the Prince George County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Association. Again, the youngest president elected to that position and was elected a second successful term. He also served on the Maryland State Firemen Association Executive Committee for several years and 1 year as a chair, and continued to serve as the Laurel Volunteer Fire Department community by actively attending meetings and actively engaged in emergency operations. Some of the things he was elected to 1987 and 1988, recognized by the Outstanding Young Men of America. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame of Prince George County Volunteer Fire Rescue Association, was honored to be selected to the Laurel Volunteer Fire Department Firefighter of the Year 4 times, was recipient of the Urban Fairway Award and Norris Beard Award as well. Some other things I want to highlight that in 2008, under the Craig Mo administration, the city moderate price dwelling unit and workforce housing unit development program was created, later revamped and renamed to the Affordable Housing Program. He also created the Main Street Economic Development Program, which provided grants to business and property owned to create economic development on commercial corridor program to support business as a means of business growing in our city. That's very important as well. He also served as president of the MML, the Maryland Municipal League, from 2009. And also Mayor Mo implement the e-government service program, recycling in-house under the direction of the Department of Public Works. Established the Mayor Summer Job Program in 2011. Provided opportunity for youth residents ages 14 to 16 to work in the city departments during the summer to gain a real life experience while learning about their local government. Other things he created the Mayor Annual Open House to showcase the city's services. And volunteer organization established the city's first art council to encourage and invest in visual arts, performance, arts and education programs directed by implementing city organic recycling programs in an effort to reduce waste, food, and turn to valuable environmental state resource. Mayor Craig Mo served on the Governor's Emergency Management Advisory Council, the Emergency Response Commission, and the State of Maryland Governor's Committee. Under Mayor Craig Mo leadership, the city-owned Emergency Operations Center was opened in the city and created and implemented by the Office of the Fire Marshal on inspections and plan review process to better serve businesses, residents of the city, and new position was added to the Laurel Police Department as well as a new command structure. Also, better serve Department of Residents purchased and getting the word out. The church was the first church over there, First Baptist Church, and became the Laurel Police Station there. So in 2015, Mayor Mo honored the Maryland Municipal League with a Lifetime Achievement Award, recognized an elected appointed municipal official for the strong record of service to the Maryland Municipal Government League. Demonstrated outstanding service to the Maryland Municipal Government. Mayor Mo was inducted again into the Hall of Fame in 2015. Mayor Mo retired from the state of Maryland on January 1st, 2018 with 31 and a half years of service. He served as the Maryland Transit and Mission Police Officer Force from 2003 to 2007, Special Assistant to the Police Chief and the Maryland Assistant Secretary of State in 1999-2003. This is the most important part of all the stuff I read, but this is the most important part as well, in my opinion. In 2019, Mayor Mo appointed a Laurel City Homeless Task Force feasible study to find out what's our condition of our homeless population in our city and help those in need. That's that task force 2019. I served on that committee. And in 2020, the COVID pandemic hit the United States. Prince George County was hit very hard from the beginning of the pandemic, where there was so many unknown about the virus. Mayor Mo and the city administrator continues to work along with the city council and city staff to keep the city safe during that period of time. And we purchased a building 204, the city council, we purchased the building and the building we got now called the Laurel Multiservice Center should be open in August of 2024. Phase 1 is open already. We can rent that space out. So I think it's a good honor of all the work that Mayor Mo has done for this city, born in the city of Laurel, worked in the city of Laurel, and mayor in the elected official over 33 years, and all the good things I read here have done. I think it's fitting to name the multi-purpose center after him. It's one of his ideas, you know, to bring the multi-purpose center into the city of Laurel with support city council. Like we always say, nothing can be done without the strong support of the city council and administration working towards this. But I also want to honor the homeless task force who came up with that idea as well, the needs that was addressed that we talked about that still continue to be addressing. So yeah, Mr. President, we like to get this thing done. So we got, 2 public hearings, the public to weigh in about it. They, agree with this building being named after Mayor Craig Mo. That's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll open the floor to comments and questions from the council.
I have a few comments and a quick letter to read, please.
Sure. Go ahead, Mr. DeWalt.
First is going to be a quick letter by 2 of my constituents, and then I'm going to give my comments on this matter. Upon reading the most recent MOGRAM dated October 2023, one could only feel a sense of disgust and anger. It is inexcusable that the mayor would utilize the MOGRAM to settle old scores and demean good men and women who are running for various offices. Mayor Mo even called one candidate a fool, which is in itself appalling. You can feel disgusted that the legacy of a mayor who has been in office for such a long time will be that of pettiness and vindictiveness. For many, he will be remembered as a bitter and angry man instead of leaving his office with class and a sense of duty and accomplishment. He will be remembered as a man who has divided our great city. Laurel has never been nor ever will be his personal project to do as he wished. Anyone who tried to oppose his actions was considered an enemy to be dealt with rather than to be listened to. The sense of anger can be easily turned to pity for a man who has wasted his great legacy to turn it into a legacy of pettiness and vindictiveness. The mayor is leaving office, and hopefully he will use his time reflecting on his actions and apologize to the candidates he discredited, and also apologize to the city of Laurel. Now for my comments. I worked for the city of Laurel as a Laurel police officer for 28 years and was currently reelected and serving my 7th year as a Laurel City Council member, all while living in the community I serve. For Craig Mo as the mayor to publicly attack my integrity and character is totally disrespectful, hateful, and unethical. But we live in a society and a community of forgiveness. I would urge Craig Mo to publicly apologize in 3 different venues: the Laurel Independent, the Voices of Laurel, and Laurel TV. He needs to apologize to the candidates that he caused hateful messages that he sent, and to the citizens and to these great citizens of our city. And I would gladly, upon hearing his apology, I would gladly accept his nomination for his name to be on the Multi-Service Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. DeWalt. Other questions or comments from the council?
Mr. President, may I add something as well? Just for the record, Mayor Craig Mo can't nominate himself for this bill, the name anything. Any candidate that's been named after, bills have been named after them, the citizens of the city had to nominate that individual. So Mayor Mo didn't have anything to do with this being named after him. This is from concerned citizens in the city that think he should deserve that. And the council have the final say with majority vote when it's time to vote. So I just want to make that clear that Mayor Mo did not put his name in there. These are concerned citizens. And once again, the clerk of the city will send you the the applications of all the people who submitted their name, say, name the bill not according to our policy. And that's what we're doing here tonight. We're just honoring citizens' request to be named a building or a street or alleyway be named after individual. So they pick Mayor Craig Mo's name to be named after them. So we should focus on that part of it, the legislation, more than anything as council. That's what we should do. Anything else is, I think we should not do that in this type of form. We should focus on the resolution. And the resolution is number 1/2024. That's what we're going to vote on the second public hearing of this January. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And if I am correct, there were 6 applications for this resolution?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. 6 applications.
Thank you. Other questions or comments as it relates to Resolution 1-2024?
Yes, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Mr. Mills.
When were those applications submitted? And by who?
Mr. Mills, Mr. President, may I speak? Yeah, you're gonna get a copy. That's why I have the clerk submit this to everybody. Different dates on it. The resolution was created, like I said, back in 2021, and then any citizen can put this package together. And what I have in my hand, you should get an email. It's, the clerk, Ms. Green, should be sending it to you, and you can see the names of the individuals who submit the application who recommend this. And our job, your job as well, is either to take the information, either vote yes or no. Anything else is not necessarily needed to be on record. You know, it's just a yes or no vote based on the resolution. We always got to focus on the resolution when we're doing business of the city, and that's the resolution before us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Other questions or comments?
I do have a comment.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mills.
Even though that Councilman DeWalt had mentioned about what Craig Mo had personally did, and from his mogram, I too was one who the mayor at the time had spoke about, and he pretty much spoke aggressively about me. I don't have anything personal against Craig Mo, and I would like to see him honored. I honestly think it's a little too early to honor him right now, though. That he just, came, stepped down. When we're talking about honoring someone and honoring, I mean, this city has just had within 150 years just elected an African American to become the mayor. I mean, this 150 years to me trumps 20 and 30 years of a position. I mean, when we're talking about something historical and putting your name on something, I mean, it's just, to me, it just seems like it was premeditated to purchase a building and stepping down, and then having someone, these individuals that applied for that, like I raised the question, are these people that applied for this application for him to be on that, to renaming, are these the people that are from his mogram? I mean, I would like to just kind of investigate that. I just think it's just a little premeditated. And I think that there's a bigger honor today, in this day and time, that we have a African-American male for the first time. I would like to nominate Keith Sidnor if I have to put that name on an application, and find other people to back that. Because I just think it's a little too soon for Craig Mo, but I think it's timely that we honor the position that we have today. That's my comment.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
Mr.
President, if I
Mills.
speak again. I want to be the dead host or anything. Right? I understand your comments, Mr. Mills, and you're allowed to say your comments, but I want us to focus on the resolution. The resolution was not put in by Mayor Craig Mo. It was put in by citizens. Anyone can put in a resolution to name a building, alleyway, or street after individual. We just got to focus. Remember, we got to focus on the resolution at hand. And you can vote yes or no when it's time for you to vote on the public hearing, and everything is a majority. So we know to speed up the meetings and everything, to not I want to say personal attack. Everybody have their opinion, though, but we don't want to be an opinionated council or mayor. We want to talk about the resolution at hand. So let's continue to focus on the resolution at hand. Like I say, citizens, concerned citizens put this in, regardless of who they are. You know who they are. And our job is to hear the legislation out, 2 public hearings, and we vote. And the vote will fall the way it falls. And you guys have that right as council members to vote. It determined, like the resolution say, the council have the final authority or whether this is going to be put in the policy or not. So I just want to move forward, going forward. Let's continue to focus on the business we have in the city. Business we have is stuff on our agenda. Anything else is not acceptable. Let's just be professional about that and just do the work that the people ask us to do. And that's the agenda comes up. We get the agenda 7 days prior to the city council meeting or work session, and we should be focused on that. I really appreciate that. We can do that going forward. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, one more comment, please.
Sure, is this related to the resolution?
Yes,
All right, go ahead, Mr. DeWalt.
all that I'm asking for is an apology. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. With no further comments or questions from the council, resolution number 1-2024 will be placed on the agenda for the next mayor and city council meeting on Monday, January 8th at 6 p.m., which will be held virtually. With no further business to come before the mayor and city council at tonight's work session, this meeting is adjourned.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, you as well.
Record.